Hey there, thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy days to join us tonight. Tonight, I have my very special guest, Natalie Parsons. Hey, Natalie.
Hi, how are you?
I'm awesome. I'm very excited that you're here with us. We've got a really great opportunity for you guys tonight. Natalie is a yoga teacher. She is a Reiki master teacher. Fill me in here, Natalie. You're an intuitive. We've known each other for years.
Yeah.
And I knew that it was about time that we got together to do some kind of a collaborative effort. So Natalie is going to be teaching us tonight all about the importance of breath in meditation. So if you want to learn more about what Natalie does, you can check her out at inspiredself.ca, not .com, it's inspiredself.ca. She's got a fantastic website there where you can check out all of the various things that she offers. She offers intuitive readings, she teaches classes, she's got workshops going on, she's got a really wonderful workshop coming up that we'll tell you about at the end of our session tonight. And also a really great newsletter too that you can sign up for as well. So maybe you can tell us a little bit about you, Natalie. How did you get into this?
Wow. That's a big question.
I know. I asked it.
Well, it was about 15 years ago that I got into meditation, and I was really guided to go in just for a little bit more inner peace in my life. I was struggling in my life at the time, and I just wanted to be a little bit more grounded and a little bit more centered. And it was such a beautiful thing to have come into my life, even though I struggled with it at first. It took me about 4 to 5 years to really get to know my meditation practice and get out of my head a little bit and my expectations of what I thought meditation should be, and really step into the depths of understanding it. But I was, very persistent in continuing to trying all the different methods, because I could see those glimpses and those little bits and pieces of the effects that it was having, even though I felt that there was a struggle.
Well, that's a very realistic comment to make, though, that it took you, even with concerted effort and practice, it took you 4 to 5 years. But that shouldn't discourage anybody, because it might take somebody much less time. Right? Yeah, exactly. Right.
Yeah. That's the cool thing. I actually had a conversation with a client recently. He was very skeptical about meditation. And we had many, many dialogues, and I had known him for years, and I kept on telling him, you should really try it. You should really try it. And it's funny because he tried it and he immediately connected to it.
Wow.
And 3 months later came back to me and said, "Oh my God, Natalie, I finally tried meditation and I get it. I love it." And he dove right in.
Isn't that awesome?
And he's experiencing it to depths that I'm like, dude, it took me so long to get there. Yeah. And he got there right away. And so we had so much fun dialing into how each and every one's experience is so different.
So now, what are some examples of some things that really can be helped as a result of learning how to meditate?
It helps with so much. You can definitely, tune into a little bit more stillness and more mindfulness in your life. Mm-hmm. It helps with relaxation, calming the nervous system, especially when you're connecting to breath, we'll be doing some breath work meditation, and it really helps calming that nervous system. And,
so people with anxiety could benefit?
Most definitely. Anxiety and, depression, or if you're stressed, there is so many ways to so many meditations and that you can connect to.
And so I was just having a conversation with somebody randomly today on the beach. It was really quite magical, and she and I were talking about the power of the mind to be able to heal the body. So I can only think that if you know how to meditate, if you can kind of make that your practice, if you do come into some sort of a health issue, that having this in your toolbox is definitely going to assist in the healing process. Would that be about correct?
Yeah, I agree 1,000% with that, because on my own journey that I just recently went through with my health, you know, there was these things that arose, and I really had to take a step back and amplify all my self-care, all my support, to really allow the body some space and some room to tap into my nervous system, because we recognized that my nervous system was stuck in the fight or flight. And I didn't realize it was there for years because of some stresses, and that the body was hanging on to. And so what I did was I did a lot more breath work, a lot more meditation. And it's so interesting because even my naturopathic doctor pointed out that my results were coming so quickly, and things were coming along so fast. And she said, "What are you doing? Like, I can tell you're doing your homework of something." And I told her, I said, "I'm meditating twice as much now."
Yeah.
And it changed everything.
And I remember, because your naturopath the same as mine, and I remember you telling me she fired you.
Yeah,
she said you're done, right?
This year, it was the best thing ever. And it was her first time doing that with a patient. She looked at me and she said, "Natalie, like, don't book another session. You're done. You're good to go. Let me know if something else arises. Like, you're welcome back." But she's like, "You are, you know, that's it. You got a handle on your self-care." And what a cool thing to, you know, to do. And it was as simple as taking that 10 to 15 minutes a day for myself and for my health, and going into various meditations.
Yeah. And don't you think that I'm just sort of thinking it through as you're talking. And to me, it sounds like the practice of meditation almost relates to taking back your power too. And so many of us surrender our power in ways that we can't even imagine until it's too late. Right? And then you feel very victimized in your life. You know, everything's happening to you rather than through you.
Yeah, and I like how you feel that energy in essence, because in meditation, we're really going within ourselves, and you know, in our own stillness, in our own inner peace, and there's, you know, that's very empowering to tap into that peace and that stillness, and to that space, that true essence of you.
And sometimes it's very difficult. I know numerologically, I know there are some life path numbers that have a more difficult time meditating than others. Sevens, includes me, are, you know, we're real head cases. We overthink everything. But also, you know, it doesn't have to be just your life path number. It can be anywhere within your chart, right? And it doesn't have to be a 7 either. You know, there's a lot of, the 8s have a difficult time with meditation quite often, not always. That doesn't have to be your story. But the 8s have a need to control. So, you know, that need to control, sometimes it's scary. I used to do hypnosis with my clients, and to get them to, you know, I always did their date of birth. I looked at their date of birth to check out their life path number and where they were at. And I always knew that an 8 was going to give me a heck of a time trying to get them into meditation and into hypnosis, because they want the control, right? So, you know, it is, I think, a really valuable tool in that respect. So tonight is the first part of 3 sessions. We've got the 22nd and the 29th, I believe, all going to happen on Zoom at 7 p.m. Eastern time. And each one of these sessions will be recorded. So if you can't stay for the whole thing, it will be posted back up in Natalie's Facebook group, my Facebook group, and also on my YouTube channel. So if anybody's interested in catching it on the flip side, we can help you with that. So I guess without further ado, unless you've got anything else you want to add to this?
No, that's perfect.
Awesome. Okay, well, let's begin then, shall we?
Feeling your rib cage, your abdominals expand, your whole torso expand just a little bit more. If there's room. And then exhaling and letting that all go. And knowing that any time your mind wants to come in and perhaps become a narrator or invite a train of thought, to bring your focus back onto breath. Because it is a practice. Letting go of the expectations of what you should be feeling. And being here in the now with your breath. And then moving into another playful, perhaps tool or technique that can be used for a breathwork meditation is when a thought arises, placing your focus on counting the breath, perhaps counting to 3, counting 5 breaths at a time. I invite you to pick a small number and take a moment to count a few breaths and see what that feels like. And you can also play with the longevity of the number, visualizing the number expanding on your inhale. And letting go on the exhale. Counting at your own pace, as slow or fast as you'd like to. And then bringing your awareness to your abdominal region. And if you're comfortable, I invite you to take one or both of your hands and place them onto the stomach. And feeling the air as you expand for your inhale. And feeling your hand as it moves closer to the body on the exhale. Seeing if you can push, maybe expand the hand a little bit further out. Filling up your entire torso with air. Feeling the air coming down to your hand and your lower abdominal as you expand. And exhaling as that air moves and that hand moves closer into the midsection. And so letting all that go, allowing your breath to become a little bit more natural. Relaxing the hands, relaxing the body. Coming back into your body. Inviting the intention that you can bring this mindfulness and this quality of air into your everyday life. And as you practice mindfully breathing, you're having a dialogue with the lungs and with the body of the possibilities. And as we are coming back into our bodies, perhaps wiggling the fingers and toes, bring your awareness back into the room. And when you're ready in your time, softly opening the eyes, taking your time to come back into your awareness. And bring yourself grounded back into your space. And so as we're coming back into the space, and how did you find the quality of your breath and your lungs? Were you able to connect to a little bit of a deeper space within your lungs throughout the meditation?
I was, and you know, I loved the visual of the number one, and then I would visualize number two contracting.
Yeah.
I really liked that. That was almost like the balloon effect, you know?
Yeah.
That was really, really good. I really enjoyed that. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. And there's all sorts of visuals and things because, you know, I threw in probably about, you know, 4 or 5 techniques that we can do with breath into one session.
Yeah.
Sometimes I would hold just counting the breath and visualizing that for up to a half an hour.
But you know, I found it really good because it helped me to focus on one thing, because where my mind is, I'm so in my head and my mind is so busy all the time that I was able to really not distract, but I was able to kind of connect to the visualization of just the numbers, and that was all.
Yeah.
A couple of things came floating in, but for the most part it was, you know, no, that was great.
Yeah, and that's part of, you know, there's many practices in yoga that encourages that, where all of your senses are engaged in an action or something, and then what it does is, you know, the brain just kind of is like, oh, I don't know, okay, I'll just kick out. So the brain just is like, okay, I'm out now, it's too much. And there's, you know, certain chants and dances that you can do too that have the same effect. You want to chant and dance anytime. But that's, I love visuals for that reason, because it really helps the mind, especially that form when I'm spinning out or I'm feeling like angry or overwhelmed or something through my day. It's a really cool tool that I can just go to. And I can, like you said, let the mind go.
Yeah, I used the expression this weekend because I was a little bit fried. I said I have to take my brain on a vacation. Yeah.
Yeah.
that I
You
did.
need to do that. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
And did you feel a little bit more expansion in your body and your lungs in that area too? Like, did you feel a little bit more this time? I know it can take, you know, a while to feel it.
I'm not sure if I felt more. I think what it was is that I felt more aware.
Yeah.
That was the bonus, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I love the awareness piece.
yeah, yeah. Because otherwise, I've you know, like I said, I forget to breathe. I just pause for long periods of time, you know, and then recognize, right, I'm supposed to take a breath, or I'll find myself just barely breathing enough, just enough to get just enough air to keep me alive.
Yeah.
I know that probably sounds ridiculous, right? I don't know if anybody else
No,
can relate to
I
that,
get it.
but it's just, you know,
Mm.
and I think it was something you said when we were talking last time that, you know, the breath is telling the nervous system to calm down.
Yeah, it's a direct communication, absolutely.
Yeah.
And even like you said, the awareness piece, like you had more awareness. The more we bring our awareness to things like breath or different body parts, we are in a direct communication with that area and with that part of the body.
Right.
And so, yeah, breath, you know, when we are talking about the nervous system, if you're dealing with any illnesses or disease or need to calm down, connecting to breath and tapping into that side of the nervous system is so healing. I know on my healing journey, that was one of the number one things that even my doctor, naturopathic doctor recognized, that the breath work I was doing accelerated my healing journey so much.
Isn't that amazing? That's awesome.
Yeah, it was really amazing because I amplified it to committing, you know, 10-15 minutes a day to the breath work and really ensuring, because my nervous system was always in fight or flight. It was a constant. And I had to learn how to turn it off. It didn't know the on-off switch. So I had to retrain the body that it was able to communicate, you know, and that is simply done through breath work, which is so powerful.
I think it's going to help me with my riding too, because I know my instructor's always yelling at me, breathe. And I'm like, this, and breathe. I mean, right?
Yeah, yeah. And maybe you could count on your horse. I don't know if that would help.
Absolutely. Yeah.
If you like the counting thing, do the counting thing and try that while you're riding. You know?
That's a technique that we use when we ride anyways, is to count in our heads, you know, 1, 2, 1, 2. It's
okay.
You know, Nina's going, yeah, she knows it, right? So it's you know, it's like you pick up that rhythm, right? And when you're thinking the rhythm, the horse automatically picks up on it too, and then you can get it synced, right?
So while you're thinking,
incorporate the breath into that.
Yeah, so that's the thing. When you speak of it, it kind of reminds me like music. You know, when you're a musician and everyone has their part, but you're all in sync and rhythm with it.
Yes.
It's just another layer. So if you're playing a few instruments at once, you know, you're just adding another layer to that existing rhythm, which is breath.
So let's see how everybody else did.
Yeah, I'd love to tune into everyone else.
Yeah.
If anyone else has anything to share, I'd love to hear it.
How about Susan? How was your experience, Susan? Do you have anything you'd like to share?
Well, I have the same head case problem you do. I don't, and then I miss everything.
Yeah.
My breathing is it's like I work at it, you know, or otherwise I'd be all over the place, not paying attention.
Yeah.
But to take consciously a deep breath and then let it out. So I have my own little program going here, and I have a tendency to miss what's really going on because I know I miss the numbers.
That's a good point. You bring up a really good point. I like that.
It's not as easy as you think. I mean,
no, I understand that.
Breathing is like, but then when you consciously do it, it's like, oh, I'm not too good at this.
No, you know what? I really appreciate you saying that, because it just made me think about, this is not to make it all about me, guys. This is to trying to share what I've gone through, and hopefully you guys will be able to resonate with this. But, you know, sometimes I think I don't listen as well as I could, because I don't remember a lot. That when people are speaking to me, sometimes I'm like, well, I can't remember what she said, and I feel like an idiot because I can't think of what she said. But you know what? I've just made a connection to the breath, that if I was better with the breath, then my listening skills would be better because I wouldn't be on to the next thought, you know, because I'm so busy up here. Can you relate to that, Susan? Constantly, you're
definitely have to learn to do something.
Yeah.
And it has to do with paying attention.
Yeah.
And being in the moment and stop thinking.
Yeah. Yeah.
All day.
Right. Yeah.
And it's like, and where am I? Am I here or am I with the group or what am I doing? So it's not as easy as you would think. Just it's easier to not be meditating. Just breathe.
Did you tell me? I forgot. Did you tell me that you're an 11?
I am an 11.
Right. So
I have a 7.
You're doomed. Sorry. But the one thing with the 11s, and I'm always trying to tell the 11s, and you've probably heard me say it before, is that 11s have a very hard time living in the moment. Because you came into this earth plane, you came in with a soul's contract that says, I have to do something much bigger than what I'm doing, and I don't know what it is, and time's running out, and I got to figure it out really fast. So that you guys tend to kind of project into the future without slowing it down to say, hey, you know what, if I just stay in the moment, I can make a difference in this moment.
See, that's what I need to learn.
Okay. Yeah. Does that help?
Well, I think it is to become more and more aware of it and conscious of it.
Right.
And mindful of it.
Yeah.
And to know that I'm doing things that distract me, that I'm not paying attention. Tone it all down.
You know, it's funny because I've had a few experiences. One as of this morning, I was telling Natalie about it earlier. You might have heard part of it, but I woke up this morning and I knew that I had to do something different. I knew that I had to go to the beach, right? I got this message to go to a beach I've never been to before. Well, the fact that I got the message was quite miraculous all by itself, but they actually got the mind chatter, right? So that was pretty much the miracle right there. But it was, I call it my altered state of awareness. And I knew that I was in it before I left the house, because when I got in my car, I wouldn't even turn on my radio, which is typical for me. I do that. I love to have music going in my car, but I thought, no, I have to be completely with it and completely aware. I don't know if any of you guys can relate to that. But hey, Zelda, welcome. But that's, I've been asking for it. And I think that's the thing we fail to do. I think we're so wired to think that we have to be in control all the time. You know, Candace, you're an 8, if I dare say you're an 8, right? So you have a bigger need than many of us to be in control of things, right? So sometimes it's difficult for people that have numbers in their charts to kind of, that need control, to be able just to kind of release it and let it go. And I have an 8 personality, so I totally understand Candace. She knows that. So I don't know where I'm going with this, Natalie. Help me out here. But the point is,
well, do you know, when you were speaking about Susan, about the 11 and all of that, I get it.
Yeah.
I have 11s in my chart,
but it's asking for, I know it was, it's asking for the help when we need it, and releasing the need to feel that we're the only ones that can do it, you know? Yes. I had my head completely bent out of shape trying to come up with a program for this month's Master Number 11 membership portal. And for some reason, it just wasn't coming, and it wasn't coming. And my husband said, would you just let it go? Just let it come to you instead of you demanding it come to you. He said, just let it go, right? And sure enough, I let it go, and there it was. And it came in a very unexpected place. See,
it's all the personality things.
Yeah.
No wonder I'm not paying attention.
There you go.
Really? And I'm August.
Are you August? Yeah, you're a Leo. So you get a super creative.
So I've got an 8, a 7, and an 11.
You got an 8. Oh, okay.
I'm out there.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'd love to do your chart.
You did.
Oh, have I done it already? Okay, I'm not going to ask your last name because you might not want to give it away.
A year and a half ago.
What is it?
A year and a half ago.
A year and a half ago. Okay. All right. Okay. Yes.
It's 2017.
That's right.
17.
There you go. Good.
My abandonment issues.
There you go.
Yeah. So now if I just learn why I am not paying attention, then I can tone that down and be aware of it.
That's awesome. And I think
I'll do better.
Yeah, me too.
I noticed yesterday, no. That why I'm not really paying attention.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe I'll get better at this.
Yes, of course you will. So will I. So will the rest of us, because now we've just recognized something we didn't know.
Right.
Candace, how about you?
Yeah, I can totally relate to the whole control thing, because the last few months I've been dealing with that and just letting it go and focusing actually on breath. So I take time during the day to breathe, and I do it like it's, from my experience, you do it in threes, right? You take 3 breaths to help just ground, relax, and do what you need to do. And being aware in the moment, yes, that is, yes, a really big thing, because sometimes you're there, you're watching, and then you're like, what's going on? And then you have to take a moment to actually be in that moment.
Right, right.
So, yeah.
And if you take the time to ask for the help, it's going to come in unexpected ways, right?
Yeah.
You really do have to kind of, it's hard though. It's a hard balance, isn't it? Because you have to kind of pay attention, but at the same time, get out of your head.
Yes. Yes.
Like I had a lone blue jay that landed on my swing this morning, and he just sat there and looked at my kitchen window. And I went, okay, I get it. I got to go read what you're all about, right? And I got the message big time. When I noticed that it was him alone, sitting in a strange place that they don't typically do. So anyway, it's all good. So yeah, Natalie, do you want to add anything to that? Any observation for Candace?
No, I actually don't have anything to add to that. What was just said was just so perfect.
I forgot what she said.
In the moment.
Oh my. Nina, what about you?
Well, yeah, I guess I can relate to all of that. The getting out of the head thing, totally me. Need to get out of my head and into my space around me. My environment's a huge influence.
Mm-hmm.
My environment is not well put together, and neither am I. But I find meditation to be really quite easy for me to get into.
Yeah.
It's just, I guess, a matter of staying in it while I'm doing it that I find difficult. Like I can be easily distracted at any moment and just taken away from it. And I also find that throughout my day, I'll be doing activities and my mind is completely elsewhere.
Yeah.
And that's a pain in the ass, let me tell you.
Don't you find it shocking when you drive somewhere and it's all of a sudden it's like, wait a minute, I just drove like 20 miles and I have
I'll do that. Or like, I'll just put something away in my house and I'm like, I have no idea where I put it because I wasn't actually thinking about what I was doing while I was doing that. So that's something I have to constantly struggle with and pretty much get down pat that this way I actually know where I put my stuff. That would be nice, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it sounds like, Nina, that you really want to bring a mindfulness practice into your everyday living, like really being mindful. And actually breath can help with that. I know that's still a practice for me is coming into the moment, because I too sometimes it's like, oh, where did I put that? And 2 days later I finally find it. We all have those moments, and it's a continuous practice. But I find like bringing mindfulness to the moment in everyday activities is also coming back to that breath.
Yeah, I agree with that completely. And it's so funny because I'm so hyper aware and self-aware of what I'm doing when I'm doing it. So I know I'm not in the mindful moment as I'm in it. So I'm like ping-ponging back and forth all day long between totally being aware of it and then trying to actively change it within like a 5-minute interval. It's ridiculous, but
I think that's human.
But the breath has really, really helped me a lot. It helped me to get more in touch with my body. The numbers don't always help, which is funny that it helps a lot of other people. It does help, but not as much as the anatomical perception in my mind. So actually being able to feel the different parts of the body and focus on that actually helps me a lot more than the counting. Yeah,
and that's cool that you bring that up, because I sometimes I do both. I play with it all, but I actually really like moving the breath through different parts of my body. So I'll feel what it feels like to move the breath through my hands, and feel like while I'm breathing, what does it feel like as the breath moves through my entire body, and just focusing on, you know, just different parts of my body, not necessarily just my lungs. And it's kind of a neat exploration of, you know, simply being curious about what does it feel like.
Right, exactly. And I like being able to have that blank moment, because you really don't have an answer for that when that happens.
Yeah.
Feel it. So it's really quite interesting, because you can't draw an answer, so you're blank, so you have nothing to expect. So I really like that whole entire concept of going with your body sometimes, because the numbers, they help, but sometimes I get distracted by it, and I get so caught up in counting that I forget, you
Not
know,
for everyone.
I'm like, I'm still counting. But
That's a good
I have
point.
a question though. I do have a question.
Yeah.
When it comes to imagine or visualizing light and like white light around you, things like that, how do you go about doing that in a way that you can really, because I could do it, but then it dissipates so quickly that I just can't fully keep it or make it
Like
come
hold on to that vision. Yeah. And that's a matter of practice, but one thing you might want to practice with that is if you have an image. So if you want to just draw a circle of white light on like a piece of paper, just draw a circle. So if you stare at the image for a little bit and see it in your visual, and then close your eyes, and then practice seeing it with your internal eye and your internal seeing.
I like that. That's interesting. That's really, I'm going to try that.
Yeah, try that. It's a really neat way to play with both sites, because we do have both sites. So what you're trying to reinforce and enhance is your inner sight. So that's a really good way, is as soon as you stare at something, like hold on to it and see how long you can hold on to the vision. And then when it disappears, open your eyes again, look at the visual, and then go back in.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense. That's really awesome. I'm definitely going to try that, and I'll let you know how it works out. You have the Facebook book.
Yeah.
I'll let you know how it works.
Please let me know. Definitely. Yeah, I would love to hear.
What about a candle, Natalie?
Pardon?
Focusing on a candle. A lit.
Oh, yeah. That's a really neat one. I just realized I haven't done that for years.
You know what I also find interesting is, like, I see tons of flashes of colors and like I'll get all sorts of different patterns and things like that come up a lot. And those are really vibrant, but for some reason, whenever I want to hold on to some specific visualization, I just can't seem to hold on long enough to actually experience that whole entire visualization.
Yeah, I know what you mean, and that's and that comes with practice. Yeah, it just gets stronger and stronger. It's like a muscle, you know. You're building its strength. Your inner vision is like any other of our muscles.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey, Daniela, how about you?
Yeah, first I think it's ridiculous that we don't know how to breathe. Huh?
Yeah, true.
And I know that I breathe far too much on shallow, like on the top of my lungs, and not in my stomach. And this exercise where you hold your hands on your stomach and feel how it goes up and down, that helps me a lot.
I'm sorry. I just tuned into the fact that those are night peepers I'm hearing.
What is it?
You take it for granted because you hear it every night, but this is a very Caribbean sound.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
You hear those peeping noises? Those are the little tree frogs.
I know. They're beautiful.
I want to run right now.
Oh.
That's amazing.
Yeah, they're very loud.
Yeah. Well, Natalie, what about focusing on a sound? Would it help Daniela to focus on the night?
Absolutely. I love sound meditations all the time. You can even focus on the sound of nature that you hear right now in this moment. There's so many sounds that you can focus on, putting on relaxation music or anything. sometimes I will actually play, I'll go on YouTube and I'll find a waterfall or ocean sound, and I'll meditate to that. It helps me as well, just to simply be there with the ocean, even if I'm not beside the ocean.
Right, right. It's fantastic.
Great. Yeah, I guess I just have to keep going, and I try hard to live in the now, and now, and you said the 11th have a hard time to live in the now. That's a bit discouraging.
Well, don't be discouraged. It's just an awareness, right?
Right, it's very hard.
It's not a fault. It's just that the contract that you signed implies I'm going to do something. I'm going to do something, and I'm going to do it, you know, as fast as I can, as soon as I can, right? But this can't be it. This can't be big enough. It must be coming down the road, sort of thing. And so a lot of 11s, I'm not saying you in particular, but a lot of 11s will self-sabotage until they feel comfortable that what they're doing is exactly what they're supposed to be doing. But it's interesting. I wrote an article today that talks about your life purpose, and the fact that your life purpose, particularly for 11s, is I don't know, let me take that back. It's not particularly for 11s. Life purpose for anyone, pause, a lot of us feel it more than anybody else, is that it's fluid. You know, your life purpose is fluid, and it changes. It's like a cellular thing. It changes all the time. When you get up in the morning, your purpose starts again. It resets, right? So it's knowing that it's all about raising the vibration of another person every single day. What can you do to raise that vibration every day? That's our only purpose, right? The rest of it takes care of itself. And so chasing it will cause you to be very frustrated. So living the moment, the moment's the only thing we have, right? We don't promise of the future. The only promise that we have is that we have this moment. That's the present, right? So it's trying to stay focused in the moment, and use the moment to the best of your advantage, and to the best of everybody else's advantage too.
And breathing helps, as Natalie said.
Yeah.
Working on that. Thank you very much.
It's so wonderful to have you here.
Thank you.
Thank you for the frogs. Send a nod towards towards Jamaica for me, will you?
I will.
Okay. So Natalie, what's coming up with you? You've got a pretty neat event coming up.
Yeah, I am so excited for this online journey, the Moon Cycles journey. And we're going to be diving deep into not only an entire moon cycle, so all the phases of an entire moon cycle, starting November 7th, the November new moon, and following until the December new moon. And so within that journey, we'll be diving into some manifestations, some releasing, a little bit of each essence of within every phase, and how we naturally resonate into the natural rhythms of the moon. Because we are, we're bodies of water, and we are very influenced by the energies of those cycles. And so having a dialogue and discussion of how those cycles really affect us, and how we can utilize them, those energies and essences to our best advantage, and how we can, flow with the flow kind of thing. Yeah. And so there'll be 3 live not just meditations, but 3 live sessions where we'll be diving deep into the content with some action items, as well as some meditations. And there'll also be a workbook to support this journey that you'll be able to keep and hold on to, and to build upon as your own. And I'm really looking forward to connect and sharing all of this information that I've been playing with and journeying with for many years now.
So this is all done on Facebook Live?
Yeah, so we'll meet in the Facebook group, the Moon Cycles Journey group, which you'll be added to once you register. There's a registration, a sign up on in my website, and I can that link is in the Inspired Self group, and I also have that link on my Facebook profile as well.
Okay.
Yeah. And then the content will be sent into your email inbox for the workbook.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And it's completely, when you told me how much you're charging for this, I'm like, really?
I know.
But you know what? I think it's an amazing opportunity, and everybody would be foolish not to take advantage of it.
Yeah, I thought I would this is my first time doing it in the online space versus I've done stuff off the online space typically. And I wanted to just offer it at a beautiful, beautiful kind of my birthday intro offer for my birthday month.
Yeah. So it's what, $33?
It's $33 US, yeah.
For the 4 weeks. Crazy.
For the 4-week journey, and with the and then within the group, within the Facebook group, I encourage everyone to post and share what it is that's rising for them throughout the journey for them, and I'll be definitely in that space in between the Facebook lives and asking how people are doing and sharing what I'm journeying with too, because I'll be in it as well.
So the registration's open for that now.
So the registration's open for that now. Yes, definitely.
Perfect. And the other thing too, I wanted, there's a few people here that might not know about your newsletter, or it's not the newsletter so much, but it's signing up in your website. It's really quite a unique opportunity. How does that, you want to explain to them how that works?
When they sign up for the newsletter?
Yeah.
So when you sign up for the newsletter, which is at the bottom of every page on my website, so it's very easy to find once you go to my website, I have a page in there that is only accessible to those who sign up for the newsletter. There's a password for a page for my free meditations and videos that I'm every month adding on to.
And so it's growing every month.
Yeah, it's growing every month. So every month I throw in another meditation, whether that be a guided meditation through sound, through music. I have, my flute meditation on there, as well as verbal guided meditations, meditations on setting intentions, connecting to nature. So I'm always being very, very creative and making them all very, very unique and different. So there's lots to have fun with and play with there.
Oh, that's fantastic. And
yeah.
So if anybody wants to connect with you, they're going to connect with you through inspiredself.ca.
Inspiredself.ca, yeah.
.ca, right? And so Natalie does intuitive readings. She's doing workshops. She can do coaching you in terms of soul coaching, guided meditations for yourself personally. There's all kinds of unique opportunities to work with her. So I'd really encourage you to check out her beautiful website.
Thank you, man.
So thank you. I really appreciate this. It's fun. I learned a lot tonight. Thanks for everybody else.
Oh, good. Yeah. Thank you for connecting. I absolutely love, obviously, sharing meditation and
so
yeah.
So we're going to look forward to seeing everybody this time next week. So that is going to be what, 15th?
Is that the 15th? I don't know.
I'm
like, I'm like, what's today?
Let's stay in the moment, shall we? It's October the 22nd. So it's 7 a.m. Eastern time. And next week's conversation is about taming that mind chatter, the monkey mind, as you call it.
The monkey mind, yes. Yeah. I'm excited for that one. So that...
Baby, shall we? Yeah, sounds good. All right. Anybody else have anything they want to say before we sign off for this evening?
Thanks, Natalie. Thanks, Anne.
Oh, thanks, Candace. So nice seeing you.
Nice seeing you.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, Danielle.
Oh, thank you.
And good night to you, Susan.
Night.
All right. We'll see you guys next week.
See you next week.
Okay. Take care.
Bye.
Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.